Okay, right now I'm going to show you how to do the part Piston. So we're going to start off by doing File, New. Scroll down to Part. It's going to ask you to name your part. I'm going to name it Piston, but you can name it whatever you really like as long as you can find it later. We're going to start off by going into the YZ plane, enter Sketcher, and the very first thing we're going to do is create a vertical axis. Doesn't matter where you put it, as long as it's vertical. Then we're going to go into Profile, which is this weird shaped thing here. It's orange now. And we're going to start off with a horizontal line that starts off coincident with the axis. You can see it by that little blue bullseye you've got there. Go horizontal. It really doesn't matter how far. So you're going to constrain other lengths later. Then you go vertically down and horizontal to the left. Then you're going to enter your first dimensioned part, which is 39 millimeters down. You're going to go over. It doesn't really matter how far, but you have to make it coincident to this vertical line here. You can see it's coincident because of the blue line. Then just click. And you're going to go down 8 millimeters. And to the right, 9.5 millimeters. Like so. Then you're going to go vertically 67 millimeters. Then you're going to click this little thing right here. It looks like an open circle with a short line. It's a 3-point arc. You can click anywhere out in space here. It doesn't really matter. And then you want the end point to be coincident with the very top of your axis. Like so. And then your last line that you're going to get, just make it vertical and coincident with the bottom line here. And you can exit your profile. And we've got a few more extra dimensions to add. Just drag these out so you can see them. Alright, the next dimension you're going to add is between these two lines here and here. They're orange now. You're going to want to make them 21.5 millimeters away from each other. Then you're going to make this top line here and the bottom one here, they're both orange now. You want them to be 62 millimeters apart. And the last one you want is this axis here and the far right line to be 93 millimeters apart. Now when you click it, it's going to make your 3-point arc look silly, but we're going to fix that right now. You click this point, which is a starting point for your 3-point arc here, and you're going to make it coincident with this axis, like so. Move the part a little bit, but that's okay. Then the last step is to click this 3-point arc. You're going to make the radius 189 millimeters. And when you finish, it should look something just like this. Actually, it should look exactly like this. I'm going to move these parts around the dimensions so you can see them better. Now, if you weren't able to keep up, you can just click pause right now and look at the dimensions and go back and fix whatever you made a mistake on. Alright, now we're going to exit Sketcher, and when we click Shaft, because we put that axis into our original sketch, it should automatically select both your first sketch and your axis. So all you have to click is OK, and you'll get your 3-dimensional piston shell. Now the next step is to go to your front view, and you want to enter this plane right here. YZ plane. Oh, sorry. So you'll enter Sketcher, like so. And, yeah, here. Alright. It's in the middle. Now you can see that because you went into this axis, it's in the middle of your part. So click front view again. Now on the right side here, we're going to create just any size rectangle. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because it's going to be a small rectangle. Alright, now first thing we're going to do is we're going to constrain this side here to be 4. That's going to be the depth of this groove. And going to constrain this line here to be 3, which will be the width. And we want to make this top part here, and that top side that you just dimensioned is 4. This line's red now. You want to make them 2 millimeters apart. Just click OK. And the last step is you want to click this surface here. You can see it's highlighted orange now. And click this part here. It's called your Project 3D Silhouette. Click it. It's going to give you an error. Just ignore it. It always says that. And then before you click off of it, click Construction Element, so you don't have solid yellow lines. You've got the nice dotted ones that you can use. Now you click this outer left edge of your sketch and this left yellow line, and you want them to be coincident. Now your sketch should be solid green, which it is. Here's your dimensions. Now you're going to exit Sketcher, and you're going to take that groove, and because we want it to be a groove, you're going to click the Groove command, which is now orange. You can see it. And it wants you to select an axis to rotate it about, which we're going to select that first axis that we put in the first sketch. If you move your arrow around, you should find it eventually. And it'll show up purple like that. Just click it and click OK, and you'll get a nice groove like that. Now the next step is to take that groove, rather than drawing that square 4 more times, we're just going to use the Pattern command. So make sure you click Groove 1, it should be orange, and click Pattern, Rectangular Pattern. You're going to want 4 instances with a spacing of 5 millimeters. And your reference element can just be this vertical axis again. It'll show up purple. You can find it just by moving your cursor around. And one thing you want to do is click Preview first to make sure that it's going in the correct direction, because sometimes it'll do this. It'll be in the wrong direction. To fix it, all you do is click Reverse to get it where you want. Click OK. And now you should have 4 identical grooves. Now, we want one more groove down the bottom here, but again, instead of drawing the circle, or instead of drawing that rectangle again, click Groove 1 and Rectangular Pattern, just like we did. Change instances to 2, and we want our spacing to be 58 millimeters. And your reference element again is that central axis. Click Preview to make sure it's going the right way. OK. And there's our nice little groove at the end there. Now we're going to go back into front view. And there's one thing left to do. We want to add a hole. So all we have to do is click the Hole command. And this surface, it really doesn't matter where you click. It's going to create a hole for you. Any minute now. There it is. Now we want the first thing we're going to do is change the type. It needs to be counterboard. Then the diameter, on the extension tab, you want the diameter to be 18. Oh, sorry, that's not radius, it's diameter. We want the diameter to be 36. Gives you an error that the diameter is not of the counterbore can't be smaller, so we'll start with the counterbore first. Make that 36. Then go back to extension and make this diameter 22. Now it should let you do it. There we go. And this depth here is going to be 5 millimeters, and this depth here will be, I believe it, just make it up to next. So you, yeah, so you shouldn't have to have a depth diameter because it'll just go to the very inside of your part. and this depth is actually 4 millimeters. Now, the last thing you need to do is go back to the extension tab and click on your positioning sketch. It's another picture of Sketcher, you can see it. And it'll take you into your part, and you can see this central little dot here. That's the center point of your counterbore hole. And what we want is for it to be center and 21 millimeters from the bottom here. So first thing we're going to do is, like we've done before, use your Project 3D Silhouette Edges and click this surface here. It's orange. It'll give you that same error. Ignore it. And now you've got your two yellow lines, and we need to make this centered. So you click the two yellow lines, left, right, and then you click your center point last. Go to your constraints and click equidistant point. Awesome, so it was already centered, but if your point was somewhere else, it would have automatically shifted it to the center of this part. Now the last point we want from the bottom to this point, click them both and make them 21 millimeters.
27.
Make that 27 millimeters away from each other, and it should turn green because now it's fully constrained. You can exit Sketcher and it'll take you back to your hole definition. And because you've already defined the diameters and depths and stuff, all you have to do is click OK, and it's going to give you a perfect counterbored hole, which from the right side, just to give you an idea, should look something like this. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is click that same hole and click your, not rectangular pattern this time, but you want to click circular pattern. You want 2 instances, and you want an angular spacing of 180 degrees, because we want another hole just like it on the exact opposite side. Now your reference element, you're going to want to be that central axis, but it won't show up when you're doing the rotation, so all you have to do is click this, the largest face that goes all the way around, and it'll automatically put it on the other side. You can see the outline of it now. Now, these two parts aren't perfectly aligned with the front or right side view, but that doesn't matter because this is a perfectly symmetrical round piston. So when you go to constrain it in assembly, all you have to do is use these 2 holes that you've just created as your reference points, and you'll automatically get the piston in the correct spot. Now, that's all of it. So just make sure everything you've done is correct, make sure it looks pretty, and click save. And you're done.